Time to fill in the center blocks here and up to around here, put some wood across there, but I got plenty to do here. And I'm gonna fill that crack in there. Not gonna fill the outside, I gotta put the blocks down, but this dirt's rock hard, so we got the rototiller out and just gonna swing it back and forth and make a pile. So we're gonna go start shoveling and get this thing done. I'm probably gonna leave an inch or two at the top, let it compress, and then I'm going to float concrete across from there to there. So that when I go to lay the brick down, like you can see this one's, I need something to mortar attached to. That's my plan, at least, to a weird rummage sale in Streetsboro. It was weird that it was at a church, but it wasn't inside the church, it was in the parking lot. It's just boxes and boxes of, kind of like somebody shopped for 10 years on Temu and then returned everything, or took it to the church. That's Amazon, speaking of shopping online. So $5 a bag. I had some binders in there. I don't know why I got that. Needed an extra pair of tongs for over there, so now I got 2 pair. I bought a 99-cent one, but these are longer. I wish it had one of those slidey things to keep it close together. Work shirt. It says something important. Team works. Tough times don't last, tough teams. Okay, that's great. There was a wheelbarrow full of CDs, so we got a whole bunch of CDs to this. Just a plain old black t-shirt. I did get this from the Amazon. This is the regulator that I sorely need for the stove/oven, because apparently it doesn't have a regulator built in. See how that has a regulator? So the gas kind of comes out. It's kind of fun because you turn one burner on full, it's like 2-inch flames. Then you turn the other burners on and they come down, and it's just not right. So we'll need this. This is for 4 inches. It is stainless steel. That's interesting. It's really lightweight. Maybe it's aluminum. You can change the, oh wow. Kind of expected that not to be loose. We're going to be using the supplied Teflon tape, and really, I've never taken one of those out, because I didn't know you could. Everything else is riveted together. That wasn't the cheapest one at Amazon, but it wasn't the most expensive one. Anyhow, we got this, so I'll just get all these out. Again, fill up the bag. So I like these. These are actually really handy for ice cream and shortening. Not that we have a lot of shortening. That's a blue one. These are little adapters for a 45 record, because I do have 45s. And then just some coasters. Eventually I'll need some of those. Anyhow, the CDs, Dave will be happy because this one has newer elastic, because the one I have hangs down really low like an old man. It's testicles. I don't even know what CDs are in there. 50s hits, that's good. Reba, that's exciting. I don't know what that is. Reader's Digest, Stardust Moves, Classic and something Beethoven, Strauss, that's all good. Ironically, the first CD I got out seemed fairly decent. What CD was that? That was like down here. Buster Rod Stewart, that's a classic. Jordan Sparks, I don't think that was the one I pulled out. I think I pulled out this one. Beach Boys, Sound of Summer, that's the normal. Tina Turner, Simply the Best. That's terminal. That's one I don't have. 50s hits. Anyhow, yeah, I took that for that, not for those. Jazz Blair, live. Tears for Fears. Again, just throw them in the thing. Man Named Steamroller, live by Chip Davis. They're all live. Tears for Fears, more. Seeds of Love. This one, I don't think I have. Jimi Hendrix, Band of Gypsies. This one's really old. This is well used. Cosmos Factor, it's Clearwater. Really cool format. This has got to be 40 years old. Late 80s, maybe 35. It should be 2008. Well, it's not that old then, I guess. Aerosmith, Pump, which actually has Metallica, but it has Enter the Sandman, one of their more popular CDs. So, yeah, $7. A lot of searching. Believe me, there was a lot of crap there. And the clothes were just humongous piles, so I just kind of did the perforate. I don't have the patience. I don't have the time to be going through all that. So, Sunday we're getting more barnwood. Hence why I got rid of the tires last week. And, of course, now I put more stuff there because that's how that works. I got to replace the shock layers in the front because it bounces. I might come over here. I did do some investigating yesterday, and my stair treads, how far your foot goes on, my foot's a foot, literally. I don't know why, it just is. I was going to use this, but this is only 12 inches. Then the other piece I have over there is not long enough. I need a 3.5 foot long, so it turns out I don't have what I need. I slightly debated using marble, but that gets slippery. Though I could do marble upside down. That's not slippery. And those are too short. So I have lots of pieces, but not the parts. And I think those weren't 12 inches. Those probably would work, but they're not 12 inches. They're just a little bit shallow. So when you put your foot on there, your heel's hanging off on the one over here. And I like them just to be deeper. Plus, it's only 2 pieces. It's not like I'm buying 10 pieces. So anyhow, I've been looking at the FaceBase, see where the best place is. And I'm hopefully going to get the rock over here. I like granite barnstone, like something like, maybe I should just take that, cut it. That big one right there. Anyhow, I think I found some places that I can get some stuff on. If it's not heinously hot, which it is today, after I do the brakes there, or the shocks, I might do the brakes on my car, freeing up the space of the new parts that are in the garage. But, oh, definitely got to put that. Should put the regular on now because I'm going to cook dinner. That would make more sense. We did have smash burgers last night. Got out the old grill, and I'm not quite ready for that one. I got to dig into it and figure out why the light them on fire thing isn't working. It's really hard. I need a match to get in there and light it without the electrical lighter. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. It turns out the front panel comes off where all the knobs are, and then you can get to all the wiring. So further looking at this, I want to make this shorter, this pipe, so it's more in here, and then maybe I could put this here and then have my gas fitting there, like bring it out to there. So I'm taking advantage of the depth, because this depth is way too much. Plus this gives me the ability to reach back there and turn it on and off versus reaching down here. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Which means I'm not going to do this tonight. Is that 3/4? No, that is bigger than that. So it looks like, what the hell do we got here? Well, I'm going to have to cut this down. I think I have the thread maker to make this shorter. This probably goes all the way at the front. So we're going to have to disconnect this, take this piece off, then take this pipe out, make it the right length, put it back in, then probably I might be able to get everything to fit along here. So anyhow, I'm not going to do that now. But that's the right thing to do, is just do it all. And I definitely want this towards the appliance. By the way, this goes one way, so out, it would go that way. So that's kind of important. Why is there a vent there? I don't understand that. Yeah. I don't know if you see how it's bouncing, but so we got new shock laters. We're gonna go ahead and install those. The shock power bolt is down there. And the shock itself is right there. So yeah, we just need to take that off, and then the bottom down there. So I think I'm just gonna raise the thing up. I already put the sticker on. So of course the engines warm because we just went to Taco Bell for dinner. But it should be down there. So we'll get the light out and get dirty. No instructions, of course, but it should be pretty easy to figure out the way these go. One goes on the top with, I guess they gave me 2 nuts. A tall nut and a thin nut. I don't know. Then this one probably goes like that. So nothing to it but to do it. Oh, and then I put the zip ties on there so this doesn't flop around. The old ones didn't have that. Oh, no, there we go. It's a lot easier because it's right there. I've already got the socket on there with my universal. Using the old trick of stand back and do it from on top. Use those extensions. So see if this spins off. If the shaft spins, I'll just put some vice grips on it because I don't give a shit about these. They're worn out and shot. They're only a couple years old too. I got the vice grips on there. Not making it damn it. Have to get on tighter. Maybe use the Milwaukee ones. These seem to be a little better. This is done. She's screwed in and hence did not go well. You'll notice that there's 2 bolts on there and one of them is the old bolt. So I got it screwed down, then it was spinning, so I had to put a wrench. Fortunately, they give you a nice point here. Where is it? Right there, to put a wrench on there. It stopped the spinning, but then I couldn't get the socket out. The socket was stuck to the nut. In fact, it's still stuck to the nut. So I ended up removing it so I get the socket out. And the threads were all munged up, so I thought, well, we'll better chase the threads. So I did, but the threads weren't metric, they were standard, which is very odd. But fortunately, I had this thread chaser for standard, which is ironic because I don't have this thread chaser for metric. Cleaned up the threads and put it back on, and I called it a day. I did grease the grease points, and I bought this kit on the Amazon Jungle site. This is really nice because normally you just jam the fitting on and you hope it doesn't come out. But when you're going at an angle, it pops out. This one's on a flexible hose, and you pull this lever back, the whole thing opens up. And when you close it, it puts a sleeve back on there, and it ain't ever coming off until you open that. So it's a lot easier to use. And the hose made it flexible because I had lots of places to get in there that are hard. So the wheel's back on, we torque related it. So I'm gonna somehow extract my nut. And you can see, and hence, it's stripped. I guess I over-tightened it. I don't know. Probably was using the impact. So we'll pop the wheel off. I think the bolt, oh yeah, I can see it. You can see it too. It's, maybe you can't see it. There it is, right down there. So I think I can get to it from here. I might have to remove some things to get to it. Anyhow, taking the wheel off makes it a lot easier. Take the wheel off, well, jack it up, take the wheel off, undo the bottom, which will make things easier. I did the top first, put my vice grips on, and then I hit the top. And I had to use 2 vice grips and the impact. And then it spun the thing out. It spun, which I've never had happen. So you'll see that there's no top to that. So when I went to pull it, it came out, and that was very exciting because 1, I've never spun the top off by accident or on purpose. 2, all the fluid came everywhere. I have it somewhere here because I was using it to find the threads. It's probably in there. So anyhow, I hope this next one goes a lot quicker because that took an hour and 15 minutes. So we got the one dog chained up. Usually the other dog stays around, Moxie. Good song. Now I can't play this in European countries or some shit. So yeah, I removed the intake pipe. So I was thinking I could get to it, but I can't. So the air conditioning is here. The bolt's here, but because it's the bolts, the nuts all the way down, you gotta really see how this is long. I did find it. I didn't know that screwed off. Oh, another tidbit. This is all standard. Even though it's a metric truck, the replacement is standard. Which is why my 9/16 got stuck in my 14 millimeter socket. Anyhow, so I got to get over there, but I realized two things. One, I can kind of see it from down here, which I knew, but also I think this plastic comes out. It does. Like if I removed all that, I could get in there better, but I finally jammed my little wrench in there. I'm able to just slowly loosen it. This has got a thread lock on there, so that's great. Or it's Mungol threads so that they don't come off easy. So we're just gonna use our 90 tooth. Just, because until I get it up around, but I've got an angled 9/16, but it's not a deep well. No one, I've never seen a deep well. Maybe they make them, I don't know. But we're getting there. It's coming off. So yeah, 9/16. Oh, and I did cut a little relief out of this plastic just to get the wrench in there a little better. I could have used a longer ratchet. That would have been easier, but this one has 90 teeth, so I get full rotation on this small hole here. So I'm thinking this might be a bad idea. I also thought that this would get easier to do. But it is. This is just spinning. So that's great. I thought I was loosening it. No, just spinning it. But take the torch right. No, I can't do that. There you go. More vice grips. So in theory, you could put a wrench on there. But if you can't get on there because your socket's all the way down, you're supposed to put like a regular wrench, which I can't really get any leverage on, and then put your square wrench up here and hold it from turning. I don't care about this shock, so I'm trying to hit this. Fuck. Onwards and nowheres. I guess what I could do is take my grinder, make a little flat spot, give it something more to bite on, because being polished chrome steel, it is gonna do its thing. So basically my advice is you have to get tight enough to like make dents into this. That should happen. I'm gonna go on this. This is out, so that should be easier. Maybe we can do something here. Weld the nut on or something. Eagles. Cool, devil like that. Got it. Had used 2 vice grips after I flattened it, the round part with the old metal remover. Still couldn't move with the wrench, because the wrench is short. Added the stock extension because at this point, because it's a rubber, and it loosened a little bit, I was able to move it over and then angle that in. So we went through the little Bosch guy. I don't know where she is. The one I got in the garage sale, super cheap. She's just a cutie. It's the only Bosch tool I really own like this. That didn't do anything. Then we went to this one. A little more muscle. That didn't do anything. So we went to the big monster. You know, the 1,200 pound torquer. Doesn't help that I got this long bar and they're absorbing a lot of that torque, but I had to be above to get to it. That then threw the vice grips out, so we redid the vice grips and paired them up, and that did it. The Milwaukees are better, but they're rounded, ironically, now they made it flat. The other ones are in the flat. So yeah, now we just have to put it back together. Gonna greaselate the joints. I think I'll do that now. It's really wet over there because it's got dirt and shit. That was miserable. This will be a little less miserable. You know, this is what I was talking about before. See? These expand. Oh, that's better. And then now they lock on that sleeve. So this works really well. And the hose makes a huge difference. Got that for $5. New. and alleys of all places. I didn't have a pistol grip. The nice thing about this is while you're holding the end on, which I don't have to do as much now, not it locks, you can press it versus the old kind where you get the lever and you're trying to hold that on and you're jamming this up against things. So you need several grease guns. This is that little tiny pin one. I forget what I needed that for. Special fittings. Oh, it was this on the universals for the drive shaft. Okay, well, should go have coffee. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Just wanted to get this done. Okay, all done. Just have to torquelate the 150-pound lug nuts. So let's kind of recap what happened here yesterday, because it's Uncle Chris's story time. So the way it's supposed to be is, pretend this is your shockulator. This goes between the frame part, the mount, and then you got your bolt here at the top. Thread that down. You got your little bolt there. And it kind of threads through there. And these are different than the ones I just put in there. These are Monroe's, and they were shit. And then I put in KYB, which are better, but they had a little problem. So the other one, the threads only go down to there. So I forgot to put this washer there. So if you delete that washer by accident, and in all excuses, I was in the dark. And even now, you can see it's there, but you didn't see it there. See how it gets smushed? That's key. Notice the smushed. So if you torquelize it, and let's suppose that the threads end up here, not here. You get down to the bottom and you keep going because it's still loose. Because it's squishing it, but it's not squishing it properly because it doesn't have this ring in there. It's just kind of passing down like there. Well, anyhow, so when you run out of threads, guess what happens? It strips the threads above. So you kind of get like what this is. And then when I went to take the bolt off, the bolt wouldn't fit, or the socket wouldn't come off. That was because this isn't metric. The whole car's metric, except apparently now for the shocks. They're standard. So the 14 millimeter kind of fit, but didn't fit perfectly. So it bent the ends, smashed the ends, and jammed the nut in there. So I had to take this out to get it, and when I was taking it out, I noticed that it was still hard to unthread, and I looked down and I could see the threads are all munged up. So then we cleaned the threads, put the nut back on, hand tight, and everything looked okay. Well, when I was over here doing this one, I realized, oh, there's a question. Do I use the new rubber or do I use the one that's in there? Well, you can kind of tell I used the ones that were in there because these are still looking pretty. And I put that washer on there, and I thought to myself, I wonder if I forgot that washer. And it was a debate to use the used ones or use the new ones. I used the new ones. Sometimes it's a debate because sometimes the new ones are thinner than the old ones. And sure enough, I looked and realized that was there, and then it all kind of made sense. This was a challenge because of clearance. This was a challenge partially because of clearance, mostly because of stupidity, and it was raining in my head and in the outside. Anyhow, done. Next step on this truck is, I gotta clean that mess up. I don't know how. It's actually delaminating the driveway. Gotta get the kit and start replacing brake lines because everything else rusted out. The fuel lines, the transmission lines, the brake lines. Those have been professionally rebuilt. And you can tell because the wheel weight's black. That's a professional job there. I use epoxy black paint I found in the basement. We'll see how long that lasts. That does look sharp, man. Look at that. Monomax. Nobody's screwing around there with the shock absorbers. Yep. Got a lot of growth over there. We're starting to see some dermators. I think Joe's eating a couple red ones. It soaks up a whole thing. There's a bottom to that. It soaks up all the water in less than a day. So we've been filling it almost twice. For inspection, I thought that this pipe would just go in and then have a union and then I'd unscrew it. No, it goes all the way over there. It's one big pipe and it has orifices for the pilot light and the stove. It's got a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So yeah, I'm not, maybe I'll just turn it up like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I think I'm going to install this, but I'm just going to install it down there in line. I may actually put this piece that goes back up here, back up there, just to get it out of the way, and because it would actually be helpful not to have wind coming this way. the short term. I could, yeah, it's just, at some point I want to like put a cover over this or something and just kind of keep the rain off of it, because water will come in occasionally. Not sure what I'm going to do there. I do need to clean these and put them in the oven like I kind of did there and bake them with some oil on there and kind of get these ready to go in the burners, but that's another project. This is what we ended up with. This was slightly challenged because you see these kind of interfere. They're very close. So this sticks out. I couldn't wrap that around there. So what I ended up doing was I took this off. Well, I undid here and I took this off. See, there it was into there. And then I was able to put all this together, including this, and then I put this on. So I was able to just kind of go like that. But I'm not exactly happy with that, but it is what it is. So now I think I should be able to fix make it the oven to work. The pilot light kept blowing out because it had too much pressure because it didn't have a regulator. So I thought I'd go over here and figure out why this isn't sparking. I did look back at the Facebook post and it did say the sparking wasn't working. Again, I know I have electricity because my light comes on. So digging into this, well, I had to take this cover off, which should have been really easy, except this one knob didn't want to come off. It's like rusted on, which is odd because that's not steel, that's brass. I don't know what this does. It's some sort of purge. Anywho, I knew that this thing was in there, and it was underneath there, but I get the cover off. This is a simple cover. To get the cover off, you take the knobs off. The knob wouldn't come off, that rusted one. So I ended up basically coming in the back with the screwdriver on the unit and hitting it with the hammer there, and I finally got the knob to come off, which is now, I mean, these are just slip-on knobs. The other one slipped right off. I don't know what I do with the knob. Oh, there it is. Ironically, this is the newest, nicest one, and it wouldn't come off. You can see there's rust in there. I guess there's a metal sleeve that these probably don't have anymore. No, they don't. Which is probably why they're falling off. So that's all good. Anyhow, got the cover off. The spark box here fit into a little metal thing that slid into here. So we took that off, and then I got confused. I do know that these two wires here go to this switch here, which indicates sparky, and that I tested with the multimeter. It does spark. Then I'm like, well, okay, well, if that sparks, then let's see if we get power. And I don't know exactly what, I know what this does, but I think it's got coils, it's all sealed. And it's not very clear. These two go to there, but notice one of these goes to the switch, the other one comes out of here, and I don't know where it's supposed to go. So is it supposed to ground it? I don't know. I need to get a diagram for this. I do have a part number, but I thought, got to get power. So I was thinking maybe this is power, and these are just floating around. Nothing's connected. When I pulled off the connectors, it pulled the whole connector end off into there. So this thing's completely ruined. I assume that one's important. Then I'm like, okay, we know we got power. Let's make sure that we got power wires down there. So it became fun. So what they do is they have this transformer, and then they have these little guys here. So he's plugged into there. Well, so I'm back there and I just touched these and these all fall apart. So the connector on the back where the power goes in, this one's for the light, I know, because when it works, and it's the only one plugged in, back here, which you can probably see better than me. See, it's got no connectors on there because they're right here. This one is just falling around off, and then this one I just pulled right out by accident. So I gotta figure what's going on here. I may just cut the zip ties back here and power directly off that, but then I gotta cut the end off and figure out which one's which. This should be positive. Now these wires come through here, they come through, and I think these are the wires. So had I known that, it would have been easier to check this because it was plugged in, and then when I unplugged it, everything fell apart. So I think I need to get power here, but these are just floating around. I don't know where these things go. So we got a lot of mysteries here. And this is the one that pulled right out of the connector, broke, instead of the connectors in there. That's the tab. So I know that lighter thing, that little square box is like $27. So it's got a lighter for here. I assume there's one here on the other side of this, and there should be another one here, and then another one way up there. I don't want to reinvent the wheel on this, but I would like this to work again. It's all, I mean, electricity, wires, it's all here, so this shouldn't be that hard to do. I am a little disappointed. This guy said it was natural gas, but this says LP. Let's get my serial number. I think I already had this. I don't know if this is really supposed to float around. No, it isn't. There's a screw that's supposed to go there and one over here. Okay, that's why that's floating around, because they're worn off there. You know, it's a $5,000 grill if you buy them new. I'm debating whether this was a good choice, but it's all stainless steel. It should last forever. Just got to get this little thing fixed here. This looks a little suspect, like somebody's hitting on it with a hammer. You can see that's all bent in too, compared to these. So I have to bend that back out. Yep. I feel like the little shells. Those are kind of cool. I do have another problem. This doesn't meet here, although it used to. Notice there are two different levels. This thing's been tweaked for a while. This one's higher than this one. When it comes in, it doesn't quite, you know, fit. And you see it's also racked. It's not straight. This should be coming up. So, and it's all, I think I bent it when I moved it somehow. I bent something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. I think I need to take some tri-squares and figure out what's not out around here. And then I'll hit it with a hammer or something. It is fun to see stainless steel with rust. So there's a fitting there, probably for the wheel, that is rusting, but the stainless isn't rusting. And this is the rust from this, not the stainless. There's a tray that rolls in here. It looks a lot like that. Oh, there's instructions. Good, well. And again, it's really hard to light this thing because of these trays here. You gotta go through the grates. I think a long mat should do it, but it's not easy. Looks kind of rainy before, but it's looking pretty good now. Here we are. The barn was right there, and the pile was over there, but he's selected a nice pile in here. You know, I got home. Didn't even bother with the strap. I mean, what are you going to strap? Some of these have got a lot of character. But I think this is pretty much the majority of the framing I need. We'll have it all loaded up over here for storage. The pile's a little bit bigger. So next step is to get the blocks that I'm going to put the structure on top of and place them over there. I might be able to do that this week. I'm not quite sure. And then figure out how I'm going to cut the posts and start working on those. Again, structure, then back to Cooper. Want to show everybody what you got there?
Just saw this.
Is that your bone?
I've never seen this before.
Yeah? Moxie's taking your bone. Oh, Moxie took your bone. Little bastard.